Alrighty. Let's see. Alright, looks good. I believe we are live. Let me go ahead and put this away. Let's go over here before we get this started. Pull this up on my phone. Cool. Let's go ahead and get this going. What is going on, everybody? This is Justin Martinez, aka Jade Sports Dude, coming to y'all live from my apartment. Hopefully, you all are staying at your homes as well, practicing social distancing and staying safe during this pandemic. And I'm ready to provide y'all with a little bit of extra entertainment. That's right, folks. It is time for the first episode of our Aggie Rewind series for the 2020-2021 men's basketball season. After every single game, the day after every game, I will be rewatching it here on our Sun U Sports YouTube channel and just kind of giving my running thoughts throughout the game, breaking down a couple plays, talking about the upcoming game, all sorts of stuff, really just having a conversation with you guys. So thank you for tuning in. I hope that you will continue to tune in for this show. And we are starting off right here with the season opener. This was yesterday's game against Arizona Christian, an NAIA team. This was played at their home court in Glendale, Arizona, which is the area that New Mexico State is going to be staying in. They are in the Phoenix area after relocating due to restrictions in their own state here in New Mexico. And this was a close one for those who did watch it. I don't know if maybe I shouldn't spoil it for you guys. For those who haven't, I'm pretty sure you know the score by now. But this was a very close contest, and we're just going to go ahead and get started. I'm looking at the stream here on my phone right now just to make sure everything is looking good. And this is where I'll also be able to see your guys' comments if you do want to reach out and talk to me during the game. So if you see me looking down every now and then, I'm looking at your guys' comments. But yeah, I guess let's go ahead and get this one started. If I do have any audio problems, please make sure to let me know. I guess just a quick little update here. I am going to be doing this video on mute because I've tried to make it work before. I did an Aggie Rewind series in the summer, rewatching last season's games, and for some reason, I just couldn't really find that balance where you guys could hear the commentators and hear me at the same time. So I just think it's easier if I just mute the game and I just talk throughout it. I'm no Adam Young, I'm no Jack Nixon, unfortunately, but I'll do my best to commentate and give you guys just my analysis of the game as it goes on. But that's enough talking. Let's go ahead and get started. Aggies versus the Firestorm tipping off right now. Let's check this one out. Looks like we got Johnny McCants and Robbie Wilson on the tip here. McCants at 6'7", Robbie Wilson at 6'9". Him being one of the better players on the Firestorm, as you will see from this game. Pretty well-rounded athlete here. McCants gets a tip, and we got Evan Gilliard walking the ball up the court. It's going to be Gilliard, Jabari Rice, Clayton Henry, Johnny McCants, and Donnie Tillman. Tillman at the 4. So we got a quick turnover here. You could definitely tell early on that there was some rust, as you would expect for this New Mexico State team, with them not having too many official practices under their belts. I don't know what the official number was, but it could have been more than, I think, like 5 official practices after they had moved to Phoenix. So definitely there's going to be a little bit of early nerves here for New Mexico State, as we saw with that quick turnover by Jabari Rice. But, at the end of the day, Coach Jan said this at the press conference after the game. He doesn't want to make excuses. Obviously, it is a setback that they weren't able to get a whole lot of practices under their belts. As you see, Donnie Tillman, there's another turnover there. That's 2 straight turnovers to start the game. You don't want to make excuses, but definitely that does play a factor, that they didn't get too many practices. So we got Angelo Johnson going up the court. This guy had quite the game. Somebody with blazing speed, as you can see right there, just slips right past Evan. That's just something that's very easy to correct. You just got to keep your eye on your guy there. But he blows past him and makes him pay with the layup. Stephen M. says, Justin, thanks for hosting the post-game preview. I'm happy to do it. I'm always happy to provide as much content for you guys. Like I said, this is something I've been really looking forward to for this season, is getting to sit down and rewatch these games with you guys. Let me see. Those pauses that you're seeing are from the video. It's not from the stream, in case you're wondering. I do have the video already pre-downloaded, so that's just part of the video. I'm not sure why that's there. But yeah, this is something I was really looking forward to. You see Jabari Rice with the take, but it looks like it's getting called off. I rewatched all of the games from last season this summer, but it's not really the same because the games had already happened months ago, you know? But right now, this game is fresh on everybody's mind, so I really wanted to do it this way, where it's the day after the game I can watch it. And the only way I am able to watch this is through NM Aggie Athletic Archives. Shout out to them. You guys can check them out on YouTube. They provided this video, and they do provide the full videos for the games for New Mexico State. They did it all of last season, and it looks like they're doing it this season. So big shout out to them. If you guys want more Aggie content, make sure to subscribe to them on their YouTube channel. See, any updates on Jaquan Scott? There's no updates, man. There's no updates on Jaquan Scott, unfortunately. I knew that one was coming at some point, Steven. I really wish I had some updates, man. But at the end of the day, you know, he deleted that post where he narrowed it down to Kansas and to New Mexico State. And, you know, I guess that kind of is his way of signaling that, you know, he's opened himself back up to recruitment. So, you know, there's really no update. I'm not in contact with him or anything like that. I'm not really one to be contacting high school prospects, you know. So, fortunately, that's all I have. I don't have any sort of inside scoop on Jaquan. 2-0 Arizona Christian right now as Clayton Henry gets ready to inbound the ball to Gilliard. Let me go ahead and see if this is a problem with the video, because it is stopping quite a good amount of times here. Let's go back to it here, see if it does it again. Okay, yeah, so that is part of the video. I apologize for that, guys. Hopefully it gets fixed up as the video continues. It is 2-1 here. Johnny McCants with the air ball. He's someone that actually led the team in three-point field goal percentage last season. That's not the best look there as he airballs it. You can just tell Johnny wasn't the most active in this game as Robbie Wilson kicks it out in the corner. I believe that's Deron Kyle. Is that Kyle? I believe that is. You can just tell. You can just tell. I talked to Johnny during my straight shooter series in the offseason, and he had said that he felt he'd gotten really out of shape. He gained a few pounds, and he definitely wasn't in full game shape heading into this one. You could tell early on. Didn't have the biggest impact in the early going. So he has the ball down here, kicks it out to Donnie Tillman. The drive. We got Rice in the corner. That one's no good. Tillman with the work on the boards. You know, that's the kind of hustle that Jans is looking for Tillman to provide for every single play. I think the main critique that Jans has had, and really that a lot of people who watch Donnie Tillman have had, is just that he doesn't give his full effort on every single play. He has a tendency to kind of disappear for a stretch of, 4 or 5 plays. They don't have one really good play, but it's just a matter of being consistent for him. That motor is something that hasn't always been nonstop. It's a little start and stop. So plays like that are the ones that you really want to show him in the film room and say, hey, even though it wasn't a bucket, that's a good effort right there. That's something that you can build on. And just keep that going from start to finish. As Robbie Wilson knocks down a 3-point shot. He didn't even have, I think it was only like 5 or 6 made 3-pointers heading into this game as we got a charge called here. Robbie had shown signs of being able to shoot the 3-ball, but he had a very limited capacity, and he was really extending his range in this one. That was the first one he knocked down. I believe he finished with 2 or 3 triples in this game. Primarily, though, he's somebody who provides his most value on the glass. I think heading into this game, he was averaging something ridiculous, like 5 offensive rebounds per game, just him. So that's where he's most effective and most dangerous, but certainly he can shoot as well if you leave him open. Johnson with the ball, gets it down low to Goudreau. That's probably not how you pronounce it, but that's how I'm going to say it. Good defense there by Johnny. Johnny's someone that has said before that he really wanted to work on his perimeter defense this offseason, just being somebody who can come out to that three-point line a little more often. He had a tendency to get burned a lot on the perimeter last season, whether it be in a switch-up situation with a guard or even with a big man. He's someone who didn't really have that foot speed at the three-point line. But that's just good. It's active hands right there to force that turnover. Both teams really playing pretty sloppy on offense to start this one. As Tillman lines up his sights for a three ball, no good. Clayton Henry with the board. Wilfred Lakai cash money. I like Wilfred Lakai a lot. Definitely my favorite player off the bench for New Mexico State. And when I say favorite, I don't mean like personal favorite as in, I like him as a person more. I just mean that I like his game as much as anyone on this team, honestly. Second three-point shot by Johnson, no good. This is the debut for Lakai. He did join the team last season, but had a season-ending injury. So got the kick out to Clayton Cash. Yes, sir. The kick out there by C.J. Roberts. Yeah, so this is the first game for Wilfred Lakai. And if you guys do follow my Straight Shooter podcast, which I put out, I believe it was this past Wednesday, one of my bold predictions was that Lakai will lead the team in bench points this season. And he definitely showed signs of being capable of doing that this game. Good hustle there by Clayton Henry to dive on the deck. And Evan Gilliard with the three ball. That's 3 straight dribbles for the Aggies and a quick timeout. I believe it's 11 to 5, I think it is. But that's the kind of stuff that Clayton does for you, man. He's going to be a guy who'll knock down those three-point shots if he's open. And then he's also going to be a guy who's going to hit the deck without any hesitation. He's a hustle guy. He's a defensive-minded player, first and foremost. Love Clayton Henry's game. Probably my favorite player on the team. The player whose game I like the most. Because he just does everything. And he does it all without requiring the spotlight as well. Obviously, he had a big game in this one, actually a career high in points. But it wasn't necessarily, I need the ball in my hands. It was all within the flow of the game. And I think that's so important. He can just join any team and really mesh well, I think. So you got Roberts getting the ball to Rice on the perimeter. Little high-low action with McNair to Lakai, and that's his second bucket. Like I said, I think he's going to be a real spark off the bench for them this season. As he gets the easy one down low. Just his height. I believe he's 6'10" is what he's listed at. You look at the starting lineup, the Aggies really don't have a whole lot of height. Tillman 6'7", McCants is 6'7" as well. But Lakai and McNair are going to be able to come off the bench and really provide some good size down low that they haven't really had a whole lot of in the past either. You look at last season, Yvonne was, what was Yvonne? Yvonne was like 6'8", I think, something like that, maybe 6'9", if that. It's good to have the Twin Towers on the second unit. So you got a missed 3 ball there. Going out of bounds, Arizona Christian ball. They are going to put the scoreboard back here at the bottom eventually. They kind of having some problems with that, it looked like, early in the game during the live stream. But you can see right there, 13-5. With I believe that's a little under 11 minutes left in the first half. Another turnover for Arizona Christian. They had something like 7 turnovers in the first 7 minutes, more or less. Don't quote me on it. This is all based off my memory, but yeah, obviously they hadn't faced this type of defensive pressure all season with them being an NAIA team and only playing NAIA teams so far. They were 5-0 entering this one. You're not going to see the level of defense at the NAIA level that the Aggies play at, so they were definitely a little flustered early on here. At the end of the day, this is a good team. This is a very good Arizona Christian team, ranked 9th in the country at the NAIA level. Good hustle there by Jabari to somehow get that ball out. But yeah, this team could definitely beat plenty of Division I squads. Not the best shot there by Wilfred Lakai. As much as you like him shooting that three ball, he's capable of doing it. I'm not sure if the team is comfortable with giving him the green light on transition threes just yet. I think you'd like to see him slow the game down a little bit more. Maybe a little bit of a heat check. He already had 5 points. But shot selection is going to be one of the things that Wilfred has to work on here. So he gets the ball down low. Beautiful finish by Jabari Rice. And you see, that's the patience that you want to see with Lakai, waiting for a play to develop. He knows Jabari's cutting across the middle. And just a beautifully timed pass to get that to him. And then the control to finish it. Deron Kyle Cash. Kyle's the team's leading scorer entering this game. Averaging, I believe it was close to 20 points per game. Primarily a three-point shooter. Somebody who lives on the perimeter but also is capable of driving the ball. Plenty of athleticism. We see McNair going to work. Swinging it around. And that play was called off. I believe they're saying McNair stepped out of bounds. Again, I do have this muted, so there's going to be some times where I'm a little bit confused. I don't fully know what's going on. But it looked like that was a turnover there on McNair. Either way, 15-10, New Mexico State with 11:54 on the clock. And I believe, there we go, commercials are edited out. So once again, shout out to NM Aggie Athletic Archive for doing that for us. Back with the straight shooter mug here. I should have worn my straight shooter t-shirt, but I think it's in the wash. I was wearing it like yesterday. I wear it around the house. Sometimes I wear it out, but yeah, I wear it pretty often. Arizona Christian with the ball here. I'm going to be looking down every now and then at my phone, like I said, just to look at comments if anything comes up, and then look at the roster as well. I don't know all the Arizona Christian players by name just yet, or by their jersey number. Mostly just the starters. So we got Johnny McCants with the ball here. Gets it to Jabari. Ten seconds on the shot clock. Tillman trying to go to work here and get something going. 5 left. King with the ball. Good find to Johnny. They're going to call a travel here. Didn't put the ball on the deck. It's a good find by Jason King, though. Another guy making his Aggie debut. The Snead State transfer. See a little trash talking there with Johnny and Godot. But yeah, Jason King is somebody who's going to get a decent role off the bench this season just because they don't have a whole lot of depth. So really out of necessity, if you're active, you're going to get some playing time early on, especially with Kalen Williams' injury. For those who aren't caught up on that, he had he broke the 5th metatarsal in his foot. Not sure which foot it is, I forget. But he is going to be out for non-conference play. He's expected to return when they begin WAC play, which I believe is January the 8th, 2021. So King's going to get some minutes. He's going to be one of their only wing player off the bench so far, at least until Marcus Watson comes back. And he's a solid player. He's a solid player. He's somebody who's a good finisher, mostly somebody who drives to the rim. Not really much of a three-point shot, at least not a consistent one behind him. But he's a big, strong player for the position, And also takes a lot of pride in his defense as well. Step back shot there by Deron Kyle is no good. Johnny McCants, the point forward, taking it up the court. Looking for a player. There we go. C.J. Roberts with the ball here. Another guy making his Aggie debut. The Ranger College transfer. Former 4-star recruit. Clayton Henry in the corner. No good. It's Godot with the rebound. Yeah, I say Ranger College transfer, but you got to remember C.J. Roberts was a four-star recruit who originally committed to Missouri before eventually leaving in search of more playing time. He joined the same year that it was that incoming class with Michael Porter Jr., one of their better classes, if not their best class in program history, the Missouri squad. So it was going to be a very much an uphill battle to get minutes that season, and so he went down to the JUCO level. But Division I talent, for sure, at the end of the day. You don't get a four-star rating from ESPN without having that Division I talent. And we saw flashes of it in this game, for sure. He's not going to be someone who's looked upon to score, obviously, as much as you would see at like Ranger College. But he is one of the better scorers on the second unit. So Johnny McCants puts up the shot there, no good. Arizona Christian going the other way. 15-10, New Mexico State. We see Rice with the strip on Robbie Wilson and Clayton Henry. Easy money. Man, the condition that Clayton Henry is at, to me, he's in the best condition out of all the players on the team. From what I saw, he was somebody who just on both sides of the floor, constantly active, crashing the boards, diving on the deck like we saw earlier. He's just somebody who doesn't seem to get tired. And, we had the press conference with Coach Jans today, and I think he said the same thing, that he was in remarkable game shape, considering, how little they practice. And with this being the first game of the year, he's somebody who came in and was just ready to go, man. And, as you would expect, considering he had to wait all of last season, he only played in one game last year due to a bunch of injuries. I'm sure he was itching to get out there in this one. As we got the 3-ball, no good. Not the best look there. Donnie Tillman, other way. Yes, sir. A little Euro step and the finish. Just seemed like any time New Mexico State looked as if it was going to pull away, Arizona Christian had an answer, had a response. As I said before, this team could beat a lot of Division I squads if they play the way that they played on this night. Could have beaten a lot of WAC teams, I think. Had this been a couple other WAC teams playing on this night with the way Arizona Christian was playing, we would have seen a couple of upsets for sure. They pushed New Mexico State to the limit, and obviously the Aggies are looked at as the best team in the conference. So really speaks volume to this team's level of play. Jabari Rice with the spin move, just beautiful work down low. His finishing ability definitely his strong suit when it comes to his offensive game. The body control, the patience, feeling out his defender there instead of just a quick drive to the rim. Robbie Wilson, there's that second three-point shot. Instead of just a quick drive to the rim, he's feeling out his defender. Oh my goodness! William McNair with the throwdown. Disgusting. Filthy dunk there by William McNair. That's why we like to call him Ill Will McNair, because when he gets the ball down low, man, he has bad intentions. For those who follow the Straight Shooter podcast, you know that's the nickname for him, Ill Will McNair. Francisco Gonzalez, thank you for joining the live stream, my friend. He says, "Go Dodgers." There you go. Yes, sir. So we got a timeout here, 23-16, New Mexico State. While we do have a little break, I do want to show you guys that USA Today Sports has put out its 2020-2021 College Hoops preview. I don't know if you guys can see it too much, but I just got this in the mail today, and I am in this, which is pretty cool. First time getting to see my name on something like this, where I got to preview the WAC. So it's just a short little preview here. It's not a whole lot. You probably can't even see it too much, but there it is. You guys can go ahead and try. If you want to get your own physical copy, I've been told that they are at grocery stores, Walgreens, CVS's, airports, stuff like that. And if you want to order online, you can go on USA Today Sports and find it as well. But yeah, pretty cool opportunity. So shout out to USA Today for allowing me to do that. So we got Jabari Rice chasing down the loose ball, something he does a lot of. Really good work on the glass. There's another turnover by Tillman there. It's his second of the game. Getting the ball down low to Kyle, and one finish. Man, he's somebody who's constantly looking for his shot. This guy is a bucket for sure. And you see, that's what being a three-point shooter does for you. As soon as he gets the ball here on this three-point line, Clayton Henry is already rushing to him with the expectation that Kyle is going to shoot it, because that's how prolific of a scorer this guy is on the perimeter. And that allows him to make the move this time. Catch Henry off guard and drive to the rim. And that split second is all that he needs. And again, this is Clayton Henry, probably the best perimeter defender on the team. But that quick first step by Kyle leads to the and one bucket, and he converts on it. Francisco Gonzalez, what's the scoop on Aggie? Was he available to play last night? He was available to play, just did not get minutes in the rotation. But he is eligible, and he is healthy. He did some warm-ups before the game and stuff like that, so he was ready to go. But the Aggies just, or Jans I should say, just didn't call his number in this one. And I think a part of that is just because of how well Lakai was playing. McNair was doing pretty well on the boards as well. But, that's to be expected. It is his first year, and he is an incoming freshman, I believe, for the team, right? Redshirt freshman, I should say. And, that's kind of, he's going to have a very similar role this year that William McNair had last year, who was also a redshirt freshman. Jans isn't one that's really going to throw his freshman into the fire earlier on. So we're going to see a couple games this season where Aggie just doesn't get minutes. We're going to see some other ones where he maybe gets 8 or 9 minutes, something like that, He's going to have a pretty limited role this year, I would expect. This is he kind of learns the ropes of this system. And that's kind of just the way it's been for Jans's teams. He tends to lean on the veteran experience a lot more. So you see Jabari Rice with a good box out there. Going the other way. Clayton Henry with the ball on the perimeter. Rolling off the screen from McCants. Got 14 on the shot clock. Clayton will shoot that, and he will make it. Feeling it. Feeling it the whole game. I think he was 7 for 11 from the floor in this one. And again, that's just cashing in on opportunities when they present themselves, He's taking what the defense gives him, playing within the flow of the offense. That's why I love Clayton Henry's game. Seven-point lead for New Mexico State as Angelo Johnson is getting ready to inbound this one. Had a pretty quiet start to this one. But if you followed the game yesterday, he definitely pulled through down the stretch. Just an explosive player. So he has the ball here on the perimeter. And then Gilliard guarding him, loses him on the screen, and the start and stop. Got his defender in the air. That's that quickness, that shiftiness that he has. And you want to talk about Division I talent, there are definitely a couple of Division I players on this Arizona Christian team. Angelo Johnson, Duron Kyle, Robbie Wilson. Dominic Gonzalez leads the team in three-pointers made and field goal percentage, I believe, as well. A sharpshooter, This team definitely, you shouldn't be fooled by the fact that they're an NAIA team, without a doubt. Now, with that said, it still is no reason for it to be as close of a game as it was, But this is definitely a good NAIA team. Clayton Henry maybe calling for a flop there as he gets called for swinging his elbow around on Deron Kyle. But that's going to be a turnover. Once again, thank you guys for joining this live stream. Hope you are enjoying it. If you are, please leave a like, subscribe if you have not just yet. Like I said, we are doing this the day after every New Mexico State game this season. So when the team does play Benedictine, I believe is how I pronounce it, Benedictine Mesa tomorrow, I'll go ahead and I'll rewatch the game Wednesday night at 6 p.m. Mountain Time. So that game is set for 7:30 tomorrow, and there's still no word on what the television situation is going to be like, if it will be broadcasted. All we know right now is that the game can be listened to on Zia Country 99.5 FM. And that'll be Jack Nixon on the call. We're still not sure if the game itself will be broadcasted on TV, similar to what it was this year. In this game. It will not be on WAC Digital Network. So we'll see. It's going to be difficult to even cover the game, honestly. I'm not sure how we're going to make that work because I will not be traveling out to it. So we got Lakai with the cut, with the foul. Looks like Jason King turned his ankle on that one. And he heads to the bench. But yeah, I've had a couple people asking me why I wasn't at this game. Unfortunately, we're not given media access. They had, I guess, the essential media guys like Adam Young because he was calling the game. Jack Nixon, same thing. But in terms of reporters, we were not allowed to this one, and I haven't heard anything on being allowed to go to this upcoming game against Benedictine. So it's kind of going to be a game by game basis to see how much I'll be able to travel this year. As soon as I get the green light from the team, I will go for sure. I've already talked to editors, the higher ups within the paper here about being able to go, and they want to send me out there, but it's just a matter of what the media restrictions are going to be. So it's going to be a game by game basis, and of course I'll make sure to let you guys know what's going on my Twitter at JTheSportsDude. So we got a 30-21 game, 2:40 left in the first half. Johnson driving. And you can see that was the problem for Evan there in this first half. Got into some early foul trouble. And that really prevented him from getting a rhythm, kept him off the court. But it's so hard to stay in front of a guy like Angelo Johnson because of his speed. The natural instinct if he blows by you is to maybe wrap him up or reach in. That leads to the fouls. You can see Gilliard heading to the bench. Francisco Gonzalez's Northern Iowa game at the Pentagon still on. I wouldn't say it's off the table, but it isn't fully finalized the way it was originally. Just because it was something that was scheduled before the season start date was announced, and once that happened, teams' schedules kind of moved around a little bit. So no, that game is not finalized as of right now. The only games that are finalized is this game we just watched and the Benedictine one. Other than that, New Mexico State is kind of scheduling stuff on the fly as the season's going on. They're taking calls right now. I was talking to Coach Stans, and he said that they're fielding calls right now, trying to set up games. Because as of right now, this is all that they have, plus the WAC games, of course. But yeah, and I guess an update on scheduling news for those who didn't see my tweet. The team, or New Mexico State, is talking to 2 or 3 teams right now in order to try to get something set up for this weekend. The hope was to have something finalized by the end of today, but I was told it could also be tomorrow. So hopefully we will find out. It's very frustrating, I know, because people always ask me those questions. Are they going to play a Power 5 team? What happened to this game, that game? And unfortunately, I don't know. I really don't. So That's all that I know at the moment. And we'll just go day by day. But that's why you guys definitely should follow me on Twitter, because that's where I will provide any updates. And of course, if there are any games that are finalized, I'll make sure to also write an article about it and put it on lcsunnews.com. Francisco Gonzalez, Northern Iowa played at the Pentagon this past week. If we play them, they will be familiar with the facility. Could definitely be an advantage, for sure. And I mean, that would be a great game. Obviously, two of the better mid-major programs. And Northern Iowa bringing back a pretty good squad. I think they only lost like one of their top 4 scorers, something like that. I haven't looked in too much into them. I just remember from when I wrote the preview originally. But a very good team for sure. And like I said, one of the better mid-major programs. So that would be great to see, but unfortunately, it's up in the air just like every other game. The UTEP game, the UNM game, those are also up in the air. Especially with UTEP, with their season on pause right now. And then UNM facing the same problem that New Mexico State is with them being in the same state. They had to relocate to Texas. So we got the and one triple by Dominic Gonzalez. Plus the foul. Yeah, but Jan just said repeatedly this offseason and even just as of a couple days ago that the top priority when it comes to scheduling isn't the Northern Iowa game, isn't a Power 5, it's scheduling those rivalry games. For a number of reasons, obviously it's very important to the fans. They look forward to it every year. The players look forward to it every year because it is a rivalry game. But also just the fact that you limit traveling. They would love to be able to drive to their games as opposed to taking flights. And, with UTEP, with UNM, that would be possible. So that's the hope. That's their top priority right now, is making those games happen. But at the moment, it's all up in the air right now. We got William McNair backing his man down. Looking for somebody here to kick it out to. Jabari Rice with the ball. 13 on the shot clock. Driving and thriving with the finish. That touch around the rim. As good as any player in the conference. Best on the team, without a doubt. His finishing ability, man. And that just comes with putting on muscle, with getting in the gym, and his work ethic is as good as anyone's on the team. It's been well documented, Because we got the reverse layup by Angelo Johnson, a nice finish. Again, that speed, hard to stay in front of, without a doubt. We got halftime, folks, at the midway point here. And I didn't get to see the score, and it's not on the scoreboard. I believe it was like 35-28. Sorry if I'm wrong on that. But yeah, midway point right here. 35-30. Apologies for that. New Mexico State is fending off Arizona Christian. Just a very resilient squad here. Yeah, you can see on the scoreboard, just put up the 2 points there. And we should have all the interviews and stuff like that edited out, I believe. Let's see. If not, I'll just fast forward the video. Francisco 35-30, thank you. Okay, we do have this from assistant coach Corey Barker. So let's go ahead and get past that. Should be good here. There we go. Mexico State getting ready to start off this second half with the ball. Clayton Henry set to inbound. There we go. Getting the ball down low to McCants. Again, quiet early on. We got Wilfred Lakai starting off the second half here as opposed to Donnie Tillman. Tillman started off the game with a couple of turnovers. Wilfred Lakai on the other end had a couple of buckets. As much as the team loves Tillman, I think as of right now, with not a whole lot of depth, Jan's kind of just going to go with the hot hand when it comes to these lineups. So Lakai gets the start in the second half. Gilliard with the ball here, swinging the ball around the perimeter. Pull up Jay, no good. But the offensive rebound by who else? None other than Jabari Rice and Clayton Henry with the finish. Talk to him. Let him know. That work on the glass by Jabari Rice, man. Just sticking with the play at all times. Finished with 9 rebounds in this game. And the crazy part is that's not even a career high. He had 11 last season. And I think he had 10 in another game. He had 9 in another game. You know, this isn't new for him. This is a guy who averaged 5 rebounds per game last season. 4th on the team in offensive rebounds per game last season. Just somebody who crashes the glass so well. And at that 2 spot, at just 6'4", it makes him so invaluable. Because it's not just the big guys that have to get the rebounds. You got another body down there crashing. And I think he really sets the tone for the rest of the backcourt as well, you know, to match his energy. So, Jabari Rice, man, just another reason why he's one of the leaders on this team, because he really sets the tone, leads by example, in addition to being a vocal guy as well. So you got Deron Kyle, the mid-range pull-up, no good. Lakai with the rebound. Stephen M., ASU or U of A? Your guess is as good as mine. like I said, it's all up in the air, unfortunately. So I really don't have any info on how much communication there's been, if any, with those programs. Obviously, it'd be great to get to play them because they are Power 5s. You know, they just played Arizona last season. But it's all speculation right now, unfortunately. So you got Johnny McCants with the ball on the perimeter. Turnover there. With Jabari Rice sticking with it. I believe that gets credited as a steal, I believe. So you got Henry with the ball, no good. And Jabari tries to tip it in. Again, that work on the glass, man. He was just on the deck at half court and gets right back up and sprints to rebound that miss. Just hustle, man. It's just pure hustle by Jabari Rice. And as a redshirt junior, too, he's going to be able to come back next season if he chooses to do so. One of the bright stars on this New Mexico State team for sure, as he knocks down that first free throw. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. Like I said, as always, we're doing this the day after every game for New Mexico State this season. So Wednesday night, we will be doing this at 6 p.m. to rewatch the game against Benedictine at Mesa. That game is scheduled for 7:30 tomorrow night. And if you guys want to see my preview of the game, as we see Angelo Johnson miss a three-point shot, I did just publish a preview of that game on lcsunnews.com, where I go ahead and I talk about, about the Red Hawks, the keys to success for New Mexico State, projected starting lineups, all that kind of stuff, and even my final score prediction. All of that can be found in that article. So make sure to check that out, guys. John McCants backing his man down low. Can't get it to go, but Wilfred Lakai with the work on the boards. Give it right back to him. Reward the big man. The Casper College transfer making his Aggie debut and looking good. I believe that's 7 points for him so far. As I said, he's someone I predicted will lead the team in points off the bench this season. And he did that in this game. He was the top second unit scorer in this game. So you got the miss there by McCants. Again, just really struggled to find a rhythm offensively in this one for just about everything other than the last couple minutes. The final minute of the game. But hey, when it counted, he was there to provide. So he gets the foul here. First free throw's up. Got it to drop, back iron. Francisco Gonzalez, thoughts on how the WAC has performed so far this season? I'll tell you what, I've been impressed by a couple of performances. Cal Baptist being a big one, even though they lost to USC. They took them to overtime, and that's a team that should be competing in March Madness. I think Ken Pom had them ranked as, if I want to say, like 50th best team in the country. USC I'm talking about. So Ty Roel, if that's how you pronounce it, had a really good game for them. I know Seattle is off to, I think they just lost today, but they were off to a 3-0 start to the season. Riley Grigsby was named the WAC Player of the Week today, averaging, I believe, around 17 points per game in those first 3 games. Had something like a 27-point game. So Seattle's looking good. And those are 2 teams, Cal Baptist and Seattle, that aren't really supposed to be at the top of the WAC standings. When you think at the top of the WAC, you think of New Mexico State, of course, Grand Canyon, UTRGV. But it's really encouraging to see that middle pack also do well, because for a while, at least heading into this season, it seemed like it was that big 3, New Mexico State, Grand Canyon, UTRGV, and then a bit of a drop-off, you know what I mean? But it's good to see that middle pack kind of stepping up their game as well. So I'm excited. I'm excited to see conference play for sure. I'm sure the team is looking forward to it as well, defending their WAC title. But yeah, I like what I've seen out of the WAC so far. So we got Jason King back in the game, so it looks like that ankle that he turned is just fine. It's William McNair with a nice touch around the rim. Fails to box out down low, though, on the other end. So we got a break here. 45-35, New Mexico State with 15:51 left in this ball game. Aggies with a double-digit lead, but again, it just seems like the Firestorm had a response every time it looked like the game was going to go out of reach, Just a gritty team. You got to give all the credit in the world to them. I saw a couple people who were kind of using the lack of practices for New Mexico State, the relocation, as an excuse. While it definitely factored in, at the end of the day, you got to give credit to Arizona Christian. This team played with hopes of getting an upset. You could see that they wanted it. Just came up short, but impressive performance without a doubt from one of the best teams at the NAIA level. And this game only counted as a scrimmage for Arizona Christian as well, so they're still 5-0 on the season. Something to consider. So we got Tillman back in the game, gets it down low to McNair. Misses it, but who else? Jabari Rice with the board. These aren't leading the buckets, but I'm going to keep pointing it out because that work on the glass is just so important at that 2 spot. Wilson stepping into a 3-point shot. Got it to go. I believe he pounded his chest here. Yeah, I remember that clip. Pounded his chest. Let him know about it. 3rd triple of the game, and I think he entered the game with something like 6 or 7 made threes on the season. But I think he knew that New Mexico State was going to give him that look because they wanted him outside of the paint. And it was just a matter of if he was going to cash in on them or not, and he did in this game for sure. 7-point lead right now for the Aggies. So we got a loose ball foul. CJ Roberts hitting the deck there. Jason King set to inbound. Get to the Donnie Tillman. Backing his man down low. Gotta finish that. That's an easy one. And do I need to say it again, or we just know by now, right? The putback by Jabari Rice. Those are the kind of plays that I'm sure Coach Shands and the rest of the staff were showing Tillman, like, you got to finish these, man. It's an easy reverse finish. I think he had another one in this game that was similar to it that he missed. just somebody who tends to disappear for stretches of the game, and it's really going to be a matter of being more consistent. Because at the end of the day, this guy was a sixth man of the year in the Pac-12 at Utah. He was a double-digit scorer at UNLV. He's somebody that should have a significant advantage in this game against the guy he's defending or being guarded by. He's more athletic, has a better game. He's just got to take advantage, man. This should be a double-double game for him, honestly. And I think he finished with something like four rebounds in this one. Francisco Gonzalez, have you heard the rumors of Southern Utah and some of the SLC teams joining the WAC? If so, what are your thoughts? Stephen F. Austin would be a huge upgrade in competition, right? It definitely would be an upgrade. I definitely feel like the conference took a step back in terms of talent this season, just because I really do feel like the team that was probably set to make the biggest jump last year, probably as we see the three-point shot there by Robbie Wilson, the team that was probably set to make the biggest jump last year were probably the ones that left, CSU Bakersfield, UMKC, both of those teams were returning a lot of good scores, a lot of guys who produced a lot last season. And I think they would have been competitive in the WAC this year. They've moved on, and you replace them with Tarleton State, with Dixie State. Definitely those programs can grow in the WAC. I think at Tarleton State, they're going to have the recruiting with Billy Gillespie. Dixie State is a team that is bringing back a lot of experience. So I think long term they will eventually be able to contribute to the WAC, but at least for this season they did take a step back in talent. So getting a team like Stephen F. Austin that's made the tournament a few years would be big. I don't know too much about Southern Utah, to be honest with you, or some of the other SLC teams. But yeah, that definitely would be big for the WAC because they did drop in the conference rankings that Ken Palm likes to put out every year. I think last year there was something like the 24th best team, or best conference in the country, I should say, out of I think it's 32, and then this year there was something like 29, or even 30th in the country. So they definitely took a step back for sure. And there's been talks of, or I shouldn't say there's been talks. There's been people who are talking about New Mexico State should lead the WAC. I don't know about all that. At the end of the day, it's a ticket to the NCAA tournament, and I think that in itself is good for the program. So I don't really like to get into those discussions or rumors too much, but yeah, there definitely is some significant disparity in the conference. So you got a 48-42 game right here. New Mexico State with the lead. 13 minutes left in this contest. Angelo Johnson, I think, is about to go into takeover mode, if I remember. Really turning it on down the stretch. But first we got Robbie Wilson. This was his takeover mode, getting another bucket there, and it's a 4-point game. Letting them hear it too. Just a beast down low, man. Another guy who could be a Division I player. Might go on to be one. Or no, he is a senior this year, I should say. But definitely Division I talent. Turnover there going the other way. So we got, let's see, was that clean? Yes, it was, right? The rejection there by William McNair. Good straight up defense by Donnie. The defensive presence there by Jabari. And it leads to the turnover. He's hyped up. Rocking the mustache this year. Jabari is my guy, but I'm not sure how I feel about the mustache, man. I'm not quite sure. I need to talk to him about that. Maybe there's a story behind it. Rocking the stash. It's funny. Robbie Wilson signaling in the back there that they need to review it. Doesn't look like they will, though. – It'd be interesting, I guess going back to your question, it'd be interesting if Stephen F. Austin joined the WAC. I'm not sure if a lot of people know, but the SID for New Mexico State, Charlie Hurley, actually came over from Stephen F. Austin, so he knows the program very well. So that'd be cool to see them join as well. And like I said, they've had relative success in the tournament. They've had an upset or two. I definitely love to see the Lumberjacks, I believe, right, in the conference. 4-point game right now with just under 12 minutes left in this contest. And we're going to have a break. New Mexico State trying to fend off the upset-minded Arizona Christian Firestorm. In a little bit of trouble here. And I will say, it's funny because I don't think people realize when the game's going on. You know, I get so many people trying to ask me about it on Twitter and stuff like that. I think I had one person who was like, "Are you even going to acknowledge that they might lose this game?" He tweeted at me something like that. And I'm sorry in advance if I'm not too active on Twitter when the game is very close down the stretch. Because, I don't know if I've said it before, but my print deadline is about 10 minutes tops after the game's over. So I have to have the whole article written by that time. So when it's a close game like this, really on Twitter, I'm just going to give you guys a quick score update, and that's about it. Early in the game, I'll probably give my actual analysis of the game, stuff like that. So you see Clayton Henry with the three-pointer. But when it's a late game on Twitter, I'm not going to be too active. I'm really just going to do the minimum because my main focus is making sure that article is written as soon as the final buzzer sounds. And when it's a close game, I've got two separate articles that I'm writing. One in case they win and one in case they lose. And I was working on both of those at this moment right here. So that's why I'm a little inactive on Twitter when the game is close down the stretch. Especially with it being the first game of the season, man. That was a great way to, I guess, just dive right back into the rhythm of covering games, to start me off with a close one. But it's all good, though. At the end of the day, I love doing this kind of stuff, man. You see Clayton Henry with the putback, takeover mode. Yeah, at the end of the day, this is what I love to do, so can't complain too much, man. Angelo Johnson misses the three-point shot. CJ Roberts with the board. Tillman, the Euro step. Can't get it to fall, but he will get the free throws. Look at the work by Clayton Henry, man. Does everything for this team. There's nothing he doesn't do. And he does it all in a very unselfish way as well. I've already put in a request, but I think Clayton Henry will be the guest for episode 2 of Straight Shooter, which will be released Wednesday at 5 p.m. First episode was Evan Gilliard. He's always a great interview. And I just put in the request today for Clayton Henry. So that's going to be fun. Looking forward to that. Hopefully you guys will tune into that. That gets posted here on our YouTube channel. It gets posted on our SoundCloud, on Facebook, on LC Sun News, of course, all sorts of stuff. So hopefully you guys follow that series as the season continues, because that's always a lot of fun to put together. And we're making them a little longer this year. Last year, season 1 of Straight Shooter we tried to limit them to about 15 minutes apiece. But this year, we're going to try to push them to about 20-25 minutes per episode. So I think the first one was just a couple seconds under 25 minutes. So that's the goal. Just giving you guys as much content as I can, man. I hope you guys are enjoying it, because obviously I am ecstatic that we have basketball again. So I'm super hyped about it. Francisco Gonzalez, 20 was a career high for Henry. What do you think he will average this season? You are correct. It was a career high. What do I think he'll average this season? That's a good question. Let's see. I would probably say, I know the team doesn't have too many double-digit scorers per season. I think the main ones will probably be Jabari Rice and Johnny McCants. I think that Donnie and Evan will be hovering around that double-digit range. Probably a safe bet for Clayton is around the 9 to 11 range in points per game. Obviously, this 20-point game is a big one, but I don't expect him to do this every single game. Just because there's too many mouths to feed on this team, especially when guys like Marcus Watson and Maya Kerr come back. So it's a rough thing on the spot, but I would probably say around 9.5, around 4.5 rebounds, and one of the better 3-point shooters on the team. That's just that's my prediction on the spot. But again, he doesn't need to be that guy who's scoring double digits every single game. There's going to be a couple games where he doesn't even get too many shots up, but his main thing is focusing on guarding the best guy on the team. That's kind of the stat that doesn't show up in the box score, is being able to shut down anyone on the opposing team, and that's really what he's going to be looked to do the most out of anything this season. So I didn't have him as an all-WAC team selection in my preseason poll. I still don't think he's going to make an all-WAC team, at least first or second, but I definitely think he can make a defensive team for sure this year. That's where he's really going to thrive. We see the missed shot here, but it looks like Arizona Christian will keep the ball. I'm interested in hearing what you think, though. I want to hear what you think he might average this season. I was going to put out an article that actually predicted the stats for every single player. But just at the time, it was so hard to do because there were so many question marks around everybody's eligibility. With guys like Marcus Watson, Maya Kerr, Donnie Tillman for a little while. So I didn't get around to actually getting to put out that article. So we see Evan with the ball here. Finds Lakai in the corner. Tough drive there, no good by Jabari. Normally better shot selection there. That one's not the best. Angelo Johnson gets the open look, and he's going to cash in, man. He went ballistic down the stretch of this one. I've talked about takeover mode, but that's as much of a takeover as you can take right here. I appreciate all the questions, by the way, Francisco. Thank you so much for that, man, because if not, then I'm really just talking to myself for an hour and a half. So whoever is watching this, the more you guys comment and ask me questions, even if you're not asking me questions, just commenting on the game itself, I really appreciate it. I have a lot of fun just talking basketball with you guys at the end of the day. And like I said, I'm no Adam Young or Jack Nixon, so it's good to talk to you guys as opposed to trying to do some play-by-play commentary, because that's not really my strong suit. I'm more of a writer. But we got a 3-point game here. Francisco Gonzalez, Lakai rocking the two-handed over-the-head shot. Very unorthodox. That it is, but I still like his game a lot, man. I really don't want to, I say this every time, I don't want to push the comparison, because at the end of the day, I'm only seeing shades of it. It's not a direct comparison, as we see Angelo with the and one foul. Continuation there by Evan. I don't want to push the comparison too much, but I do see shades. He's similar in his game to Pascal Siakam, and he's somebody who, when I interviewed Wilfred, he said that Pascal's one of the guys that he tries to emulate with his game. And I don't think I'm not really talking about the Pascal that we saw at New Mexico State, because at that point, Pascal was really leaning on his strength more than his skills. He was somebody who just played bully ball down low. Nobody could really contain him down low. But at Toronto, I think that's where we see a better comparison, because there, he's more of a point forward. He's leaning on his athleticism to create those mismatches, and he's knocking down the three-point shot as well, above league average. So I think that's the type of game that I see when I look at Wilfred Lakai's game. It's just going to be a matter of putting on a little bit more weight, for sure, which he is doing, but he still gets pushed around on the block just a little bit too much. Tightening his handles to become more of that point forward. Right now, he's capable of moving around on the court with the ball, but not really trusted with handling it necessarily. And other than that, man, I think he has a pretty high ceiling. And with him being a redshirt junior, we got another year of him next season if he decides to come back. So there's a lot to like about Wilfred Lakai's game. Shot definitely could be smoother, though, for sure. And I think that's the case with a couple of players. You know, one of my big critiques of Kalen Williams' game was that his shot release is a little bit too slow and it's a little unorthodox as well. Especially at the guard position, man, you have to be able to shoot. Not just in this New Mexico State system, but just in the modern game of basketball. You know, you're looked upon as being the shooters of the team. So I definitely feel like his form could improve a bit. Marcus Watson's form could be just a little bit smoother, really just developing a more consistent shot because he's primarily a driver. There's a couple guys, but the good thing is all these guys that I'm talking about are young. Kalen Williams is a sophomore, Marcus Watson, redshirt freshman. Lakai is going to have another year next season. All these guys have time to develop their shot and develop their game more. So plenty of reason to be excited if you're an Aggie fan, not just for this year, but for the future. So we see Angelo Johnson, goodness gracious, with the fadeaway three as the shot clock expires. Insane. But CJ Roberts taking on the challenge, spin move and finish. This really was a little bit of a okay, you get your shot and then I get mine. These guys kind of had a back and forth moment here. CJ Roberts stepping up to the challenge, man. Not really someone who's known as being a great on-ball defender, but you like the active hands there. Similar to Tillman, though, you're just looking for him to be a little bit more consistent. Speaking of Tillman, that's that second shot I was talking about. A very makeable shot. You got to knock down if you're Donnie. You just have to. Tough shot there by Gonzalez. No good. Lakai with the rebound. Roberts taking it the other way. I believe we got the blow-by here. Good pick set by Jabari, and it frees him up for the finish. Francisco says, Jans has said many times that depth is an issue. Do you think he means the front court, back court, or both? I think it's both right now. The injury to Kalen Williams definitely hurts the backcourt. Also, Marcus Watson is somebody who's going to be able to be a wing player, play that 2 or that 3 spot. So not having him hurts as we see the and one by Johnson again. Taking over. Yeah, the backcourt is hurting right now, for sure. CJ Roberts is the primary backup there. And even then, he's someone, like I said, can kind of disappear for a couple plays, so they're going to need more consistent production out of him. You look at the front court, Mayan Kerr still isn't eligible. They're still looking to get a little bit more out of McNair. Hopefully he makes that jump that a lot of players do make when they enter their sophomore season. That freshman to sophomore year is when players normally make their biggest jump, so they're really relying on him doing that, along with Lakai staying healthy and being productive. But outside of that, there's not a whole lot of depth in the front court either, so it's going to be a pretty shallow rotation early on this season, but they're just waiting for Watson and Kerr to come in. Once that happens, I definitely don't think the depth will be nearly as big of an issue for the team. So you got CJ Roberts, money with the 3-point shot. That's a 7-0 run by the Ranger College transfer. And you see, that's the potential right there. Those are the glimpses that we've seen with CJ Roberts. Whether it be here or whether it be at Ranger College, those are the moments there where you see, okay, I see why this guy was a 4-star recruit. I see why this guy was being recruited by numerous Power 5s, ultimately ended up at Missouri. He can be that guy. He definitely can. And he'll have another year of eligibility next season. definitely good to see him stepping up to the occasion on this one. Active hands there by Johnny. Trying to stay in front of Robbie Wilson, another mobile big man. We got Johnson with the ball. Kicking it out. And I believe that is Gonzalez in the corner. Team's his best three-point shooter. He's knocking it down. Tie ball game with under 5 minutes to go. Francisco says Williams out for the year. He's just out for non-conference play, so he's expected to return once WAC play starts around that time. So you see Tillman once again missing an easy shot down low. Got to finish those if you're Tillman, man. And I know it seems like I'm kind of being a little bit harsh on him, but it's because the expectations are so high for him. You know, he's somebody who should be an all-WAC team selection this year. I think he's easily the favorite for newcomer of the year. And he's done it before. He's been a good player at different teams in better conferences than the WAC. So that learning curve should be a little bit, it shouldn't be nearly as bad as some of these incoming JUCO guys, you know. You're expecting him to produce right away. But yeah, Williams is out for non-conference play. So he will return for WAC play. And, you know, he's going to be needed because he is a two-guard. They're rolling out C.J. Roberts right now at that two spot every now and then. For the most part, he's primarily a backup point guard. He's kind of playing the two-guard role as just out of necessity. But Kalen Williams is somebody who really can play either position and do it well. He's somebody who facilitates very well. He had a good assist-to-turnover ratio. I don't remember off the top of my head. It was something like 1.7, I think, last season. And as a freshman at any level, whether it be NAIA, Division II, JUCO, Division I, whatever, that's a good ratio to have in your freshman season. Really good at facilitating the fast break, which I think is going to make him a great fit at New Mexico State. I like Kalen Williams' game a lot, so looking forward to seeing him this year. But he has already undergone surgery, so I think we saw him on the bench a little bit. He's wearing regular shoes and everything, no boot or cast, anything like that. It's just in the healing process right now. 2-point game right now. Arizona Christian with the lead. Francisco says Tillman missed a ton of bunnies, and they didn't all show up in the box score. He had several and ones that he missed that just show as a foul, not a missed shot. Yeah, I mean, you're definitely right. And this right here, that's what we need, man. Going up strong and finishing with the dunk. It's just a matter of being aggressive at all times. That's really what it comes down to. You know, you can't go at the rim with half intensity. You have to go at it with aggressiveness. So that's what they're looking for out of Tillman. And if he manages to do that from start to finish, man, he's going to be dangerous. He's going to be dangerous for sure. You know, after his time at Utah, he's somebody who was getting at least some sort of attention from the NBA. Like, he was getting looked at being one of those guys who can transfer well to the next level. So the talent's all there for Tillman, without a doubt. He definitely took a bit of a step back at UNLV just because he had those problems where he was showing up tardy to practices, and again, I think that speaks to the focus. But if he really sets his mind to it, just off the court and on the court, you know, he's as talented as any guy in the WAC, probably the most talented guy in the WAC right now. And he's a character off the court too. We have on our YouTube channel right now, he had a press conference yesterday after the game. And he's a character, man. He's a funny guy for sure. Always a great interview, super entertaining. I talked to him this summer also for my Straight Shooter web series, and I'm looking forward to having him on the Straight Shooter podcast this year. Always entertaining, without a doubt. New Mexico State down by 2 right now with 3:30 left. Jabari Rice, the spin move, good find in midair. And there's Tillman going up strong and aggressively. Love to see it tying up this ball game. He had a couple clutch baskets down the stretch. We talk about all the missed shots, but he did have a couple of close clutch baskets in these final minutes. The dunk there, and then this finish down low. You can see he's locking in just a little bit more on this one. Gonzalez with the missed three-point shot. Good defense there as Roberts goes the other way. McCants passes up on the shot. A little step back by Jabari Rice, but that's no good. Not really the best look there. Johnny McCants goes wide right. We got a foul here on Jabari. Yeah, so like I said, at this point in the game, I'm really not tweeting too much. I'm letting you guys know the score, and that's about it. Because at this point, I don't even think I had the volume on for the game because I'm really just writing as much as I can right now. I've got split screen, a game article on the left if they win the game, an article on the right in case they lose, and I'm just adding to each one. You know, working on writing the intro, which if you read my article, in the intro I like to write like a scene of the most important part of the game. And so that's not, obviously that's not going to happen until like the last minute. So I don't even have the intro written. And I've only got 10 minutes once the game's over to get the story out for print. So a little stressed at this point in the game. It's definitely a lot better to just get to watch it right now. You know, I don't have to write anything. So we got Gilliard with the basketball here. Gets it to McCants at the top of the arc. Tillman going to work again. And gets it to fall +1. Hey, as much as you want to talk about the missed shots, you can't fault him for how he played in this final 3 minutes or so of the game. Spin move. You can see him shaking his head. You know, it's easy. It's a mismatch at that point. You know, no disrespect to the man guarding him, but he can't guard him. We'll just call it what it is. This guy is as good of a player as there is in the conference. Playing it at the NAI level right now, he should be dominating. He should be asking for that basketball down low. And he's doing that right now. Francisco, how does NMSU rivalry with UNM compare to other rivalries you are familiar with? That's a good question. I'm actually a UT Austin alum, so I grew up a Texas Longhorns fan, so even though it's not as alive right now because they're not in the conference anymore, A&M for the longest time was the biggest team that, you know, we always look forward to watching them play. There's definitely still that rivalry just within the fan bases, you know. But right now, in terms of playing rivalries, Oklahoma is the biggest one because they are still in the Big 12 with Texas. So that's what I've grown up. That's what I've grown up following are those rivalries. Definitely the level of play with those being Power 5 schools, you could say it's probably more than what we're seeing here. But I'd say the fan base, the passion behind it is just as high, without a doubt. I don't know which one is more between UTEP or UNM, but it's interesting to see that, you know, it transfers to every single conference. Every conference has something like that. Every single team has that one team that they just are not fond of, I'm going to put it that way. And in New Mexico State's case, they got 2 of them. So, yeah, I love being able to cover those rivalry games. The energy at the games is always ridiculous, whether it be at the Pan Am. I've traveled out to Albuquerque and to El Paso for the rivalry games. It's always good, man. It's always a great experience to get to cover those. But, you know, as we see Tillman, once again, finishing strong. Just with me being a Texas fan, I'm always going to say A&M. That's one of the best rivalries out there. I wish we could still play them more often. I really do. I don't know how many games we'd win, because I know they're really good in football right now, and Texas is just But I loved going to those games when I was younger. We got season tickets to the football games every single year. I don't think I missed a game from age 8 until college. I don't think I missed a single game. So those were fun. I got to go out to a couple of the basketball games. Love doing all that. So you see Deron Kyle at the line here trying to tie this one up. Good night here from the Firestorms' leading scorer. He does just that. We got a 74-74 ball game with a minute 45. Wow, credit again to Arizona Christian, man. Super impressed by watching them. I think I predicted this to be like a 21-point win by New Mexico State. Something like that. And when you think about it, that's really not like a slight at Arizona Christian, because if they're normally playing an NAIA team, as we see Jabari Rice with a bucket, it's normally going to be more than a 20-point win. You know, you're going to see like a 40, maybe even a 50-point win. So I was already giving them a little bit of respect by saying only 21. I know how weird that sounds. But they surpassed even those expectations, without a doubt. So props to them. .112 left in the contest, 2-point lead for the Aggies. Francisco, there's a tiny little bar with great Texas chili next to the UT campus. Do you know the name? Texas chili. That's, I honestly don't. Right next to the UT campus. I know it's like on the UT campus, it's called the Drag. It's pretty much just one road that goes throughout the entire campus, and that's where you see a lot of restaurants. It's not like chain restaurants. And I can't think of one that's on the Drag there. So maybe it's a little bit outside of the campus. I'm not too sure. But there's a lot of really great places there. Torchy's for tacos is really great. Kirby Lane is like a diner that's open 24/7, so I would always go and study there, stuff like that. There's definitely plenty of places, but I can't picture a chili place. I'm not sure about that. I haven't been in a couple years. I don't think I've been back in Austin since I graduated. I graduated in 2018, so it's been 2 or 3 years. I need to go back there for sure. I'd love to go and I'd love to go and just watch the Texas game right now. I know they're allowing fans, but you know, with my work schedule, it's just hard to schedule time off. Especially right now, man, with like, we don't know who New Mexico State's going to be playing next. So it's very hard for me to say, okay, I'm going to take this amount of time off, you know? So I'm kind of just having to save up all my vacation days. Good thing is it transfers in the next year, so that's good. As you see Deron Kyle giving the lead to Arizona Christian. And with a minute left, the Aggies are on the ropes. Gilliard gets it to Rice. McCants the reverse dunk. Poor box out by Robbie Wilson. Didn't even have a body on him. That's easy money for the Las Cruces native. 39 seconds left in the game here. Angelo Johnson getting it to Kyle. The drive. And McCants coming in. Coming alive. With the rejection. Clayton with the ball. Wisely decides to slow it down. Aggie's perfectly fine with bleeding out the clock here. Up 1. As we have a foul. Quiet game all night for Johnny McCants for when it matters most. Coming through for his team. Good straight up defense there by Clayton not to foul, and that's easy. Too easy for McCants to come in and get that swat. You got Gilliard at the line now, someone who's dealing with foul trouble all game. Not the best performance for him, but a chance here to deliver. Gets the first one to go. I really don't know how Adam Young and Jack Nixon do it, man. My voice is killing me at the moment. It's pretty much gone, as you can probably hear by now. But it's always a blast getting to watch his games. Especially, like I said, when it's for a second time and I'm not actually having to write an article right now. I was thinking for a little while of actually like live streaming the game and like giving my commentary during the game while it's going on, but I wouldn't be able to write the article while doing it because I know I'd want to talk too much. So I think this is a good in between though, getting to come back the day afterwards once you've had time to let it soak in a little bit. Then I get to actually rewatch it, give a couple of play breakdowns, stuff like that. And just talk basketball with you guys. Francisco says, good stuff. I'm off to watch Iona. And he says, Brown, John Luis, I appreciate you for tuning in, Francisco, and for talking with me this whole time, man. Thank you so much. Have a good rest of your night, man. Yeah, Iona has a couple Aggies, as you said. Looking forward to seeing Robert Brown specifically. Someone who's very young, entering, I think it's just his sophomore year. Probably would have been in for a role similar to probably what McNair has this year with New Mexico State, but decided to move on to Iona. Angelo Johnson with a chance to tie it up. Not the best look there, but I mean, he's been hot all night. You can't fault him too much for taking it. That's a makeable shot when somebody's on fire like he is. It goes wide right, and who else other than Johnny McCants getting that rebound? Coming alive down the stretch, and he has a chance to deliver the dagger with 2.4 seconds left on the clock. So you got the first free throw on the way. Yes, sir. 4-point game, 2 possession. And that'll do it. This last free throw pretty much a formality, as you can see, because Arizona Christian doesn't even box out. And Johnny McCants gets the easy bucket to end it. 83-73. New Mexico State earning the win over Arizona Christian. I'll go ahead and give a quick look at the stats just in case those who are still watching right now want to hear it. I have it pulled up right here. Clayton Henry with a career high 20 points to go along with 5 rebounds. Jabari Rice 14 points and 9 rebounds, 6 of which were offensive rebounds. Good work on the glass. Donnie Tillman 15 points, 4 boards in his Aggie debut. And Wilfred Lakai also making his debut with New Mexico State, leading the bench in points with 9. Arizona Christian, it was Angelo Johnson. We saw a lot of them down the stretch. He finishes with a game-high 26 points. I believe that's a season high. Don't quote me on it, but I believe it's a season high. To go along with 6 assists. He's mostly somebody who's going to dish the ball, but he was aggressive in this one. And then Dominic Gonzalez and Deron Kyle each finished with 16 points. Robbie Wilson with 14. On the boards, that's where New Mexico State had the advantage. I'll pause this right now because we're going to listen to Coach Jan just in case those want to. 40 rebounds for New Mexico State compared to Arizona Christian's 28. Let's see. I believe that's it. New Mexico State shot 49.2% from the floor, 30% from 3. Arizona Christian shot 42.9% from the floor and 41.9% from behind the arc. Let's go ahead and hear Chris Jans before we close this one out.
Your initial takeaways from this one? I didn't know what to expect. I knew they were going to be revving to go, raring to go. Obviously, having a Division I team in their gym probably never happened before. They're well coached. They were well prepared. They played really, really well. We struggled. Obviously, I thought it would be a struggle at times. I wish we would have played a little bit better, but it is what it is. And we needed this game. There'll be so many teaching moments for us. I'm certainly glad that we won. It wasn't one of our prettiest games, but we'll learn from it, grow from it, and hopefully be better the next outing.
Coach, Jabari Rice, 14 points, 9 boards, 4 assists. He looked really big for you down the stretch when he had the ball in his hand.
And he just plays so hard. You know what you're getting with him every night. He competes. He gives everything he has. We need more guys like him getting down the glass. He was relentless on the glass, had some big offensive rebounds. I thought Donnie Tillman played well at times. He missed a couple bunnies, a couple free throws. But we got to get better. We got to get better. I can't imagine our guys expected a fight like this. I knew we were in for one. I didn't know how close it would be. I knew they were going to compete. They were going to play really hard. But, young people sometimes don't listen to the coach.
Coach, C.J. Roberts made some big plays in the second half when Evan Gilliard was in foul trouble. What's your takeaway on C.J. tonight and also going forward?
Yeah, it was nice to see that. It'll be good for his confidence. We had some foul issues, like you mentioned, and he stepped in nicely. It's him just getting an understanding of when to push it and when to explode and when not to. Because he's got a lot of talent. He made a three tonight, which was nice to see. He got in the lane a couple times. He had some early turnovers, but I think this will boost his confidence going forward.
All right, Coach, you played Benedictine Mesa Tuesday. You're kind of just building a schedule as you go, correct?
We are. So, like I said, this will be a great film session for us. Quick turnaround, which will be good, and we'll be hopefully better on Tuesday.
Coach, thanks for the time. Congrats on the win.
All right, guys, thanks.
That's Aggie head coach Chris Janziak.
There we go. Some words from head coach Chris Jans. I also have some quotes from both him and Donnie Tillman that we got after the game. If you guys want to listen to them, I'll read them off. Here's Jans talking about Arizona Christian. He said, "I knew going into the game that they were a formidable opponent. I talked until I was blue in the face about what a quality basketball team this was. They were older, they were experienced, and they were very well coached. I knew they'd be prepared." And this is him talking about how good it is just to get a close game like this early in the season in terms of it being a learning experience. He said, "I think in the end, the close game will be good for us. There's so many teachable moments for tomorrow and for a long time. Most years, non-Division I teams beat Division I teams in exhibitions or real games. Certainly, we're glad that we weren't a part of that scenario." And we got to hear from Donnie Tillman. This is him talking about the team's composure down the stretch. He said, "I felt no fear. I felt like no one was rushed. Everyone was like, hey, calm down, next possession." You have a lot of next play mentality dudes on this team. And then he also talked about the quick turnaround because they are playing Benedictine Mesa, what is now tomorrow, but they had one day in between. And this is him talking about the quick turnaround. He says it's going to be nice going to practice, watching film on an actual other team again, and breaking down what we need to do better. But guys, that is going to do it. Tomorrow night, the Aggies will play the Red Hawks at 7:30 p.m. As of right now, I still haven't gotten any update on any television deals. So the only way to follow it right now, which could change, but the only way to follow right now is to listen to it on Zia Country 99.5 FM. Jack Nixon will be having the call on that. If you guys want to stay tuned to see if there will be any updates on the television deal, you can follow me on Twitter at JTheSportsSheet. I'll make sure to let you guys know as soon as I know. In addition to letting you know if any further games or which further games will be scheduled for New Mexico State. As I said earlier, right now the team is talking to 2 or 3 squads with hopes of setting up a game for this weekend. And they are hoping to get something finalized by tomorrow. So we'll see what happens there. But it is going to be sort of a day-by-day basis for all of this stuff. So make sure to follow me on Twitter at JTheSportsDude if you want to stay up to date. But I think that is going to do it for me tonight, folks. I really appreciate everybody for joining me. I had a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to doing this Wednesday night at 6 p.m. Mountain Time, where I will be rewatching the game against the Red Hawks. It should be a good one. If you guys want to see my preview for that matchup, it is on lcsunnews.com. I break down Benedictine's team. I give my keys to success, projected starting lineups, even my final score prediction. So make sure to check that out, guys. But I think that is going to do it for tonight. This has been Justin Martinez, a.k.a. Jay the Sports Dude, and I'm out.